Hi, I'm Jim Vossen. Join me Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock for the Seaside-Sand City television show here on KYMB, Comcast Cable Channel 19, and over the air at 27.1. Brought to you in part by the Seaside-Sand City Chamber of Commerce. That's Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock for the Seaside-Sand City television show.
Welcome back to the Seaside-Sand City television show. What a pleasure it was to have Ellen Rucker on. Boy, you know what? I could probably spend 5 hours talking to her.
She's a wonderful, fascinating person, a great personal history, a lot of achievements in her life.
And you get educated with her.
Absolutely.
You know, John Dunne, the city manager of Seaside. You were a city manager of Monterey at one time.
Oh, a long time ago. That's correct. That was back from about 77 to 87. So that was quite a while ago, about 27 years ago.
So you were there for 10 years?
As city manager, and I was there for the previous 10 years as assistant city manager.
Oh, okay.
So I was there a total of 20 years.
So if I need to borrow money, he's the guy to borrow money from.
Wrong.
Oh, nice. Nice try. Anyway, let's see, where are you from originally?
Clinton, Missouri. I was born on a little farm in Missouri.
Is that the Show Me State? Is that the right one?
That is the state, the Show Me State.
Oh, okay. That's and yeah, you have a football team there. What's the football team?
Well, University of Missouri.
There's no
Tigers, and then there's Kansas City Chiefs and the L.A. Rams.
Yeah. So you had to hesitate. You weren't too sure.
Well, I was only 8 years old when I left Missouri.
Oh, okay. So you left Missouri. Where'd you go?
My folks moved to San Luis Obispo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, just down south of Wise.
Just down south. And then, ironically...
along the ocean there.
So many years later, I came back to San Luis Obispo as their city manager.
Wait, so did you grow up there technically?
I went through high school, junior high and high school in San Luis Obispo, and then from that time on was in San Jose.
Oh, okay. So now when you go to high school, do they have like a special course for potential city managers? Do they have stuff like that?
Not in high school.
You take civics a lot or what?
Oh, in high school, no, just a regular course of instruction. I think I did find out for the first time in my life that I did have a considerable interest in community matters and community affairs.
So you went to high school there. Then what'd you do after high school?
I went to San Jose State College.
San Jose State College, okay.
And then my first job with the city was in Sunnyvale, which is just, of course, north of San Jose. And then...
what'd you do there?
I was the assistant to the city manager.
Assistant to the city manager?
Yes.
Not assistant city manager?
No, assistant to.
Did they have an assistant city manager?
They had two of them, actually, and they were both my bosses. They were both very intelligent, very hard workers, very demanding employers. And so my first stepping into public administration, I had very rigorous training.
This was in Sunnyvale, you said?
In Sunnyvale.
Sunnyvale. And what year would that have been, roughly?
Oh, that would have been 1961.
1961?
Yeah. I'm older than I am. I'm older than I should be.
I was 11.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay. So anyway, how long were you there?
I was in Sunnyvale for 4 years, and then went to Europe, just bumming around Europe for a year, and then came back.
You weren't married at that time?
No, it was my wife.
Oh, with your wife?
And
wait a minute. So hold on. Wait a minute. You worked for Sunnyvale for a bit.
Yes.
Then you went to Europe and bummed around there for a while?
Yes, and then I came back.
Were they missing any funds at Sunnyvale or something?
No, not at all.
Okay, wasn't applying.
And then I came back to graduate school, and since then I've been with Monterey and then San Luis Obispo, and now here in Seaside.
Just out of curiosity, so how long were you in Europe for?
Just a year.
Oh, just a year?
Yeah.
So you had enough money to kind of goof off over there for a while?
Saved money for about 4 years, lived very economically.
How long had you been married?
About 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
No children at that point?
No children at that point.
All right. Okay, so you come back to where?
Came back to Monterey.
Monterey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And, you hadn't been to Monterey before, had you?
Just as a tourist, just as a visitor.
To Monterey.
Yeah.
Was there a job opening and you felt you signed up for it?
Yes, I applied for Monterey and Santa Cruz and a couple of other cities, and fortunately, Monterey was the place that hired me.
Now, what was the what were you applying for? A city manager or assistant city manager?
No, no.
Oh, no.
Neither. I had just gotten out of graduate school. I had some experience behind me, but I basically started at the beginning again, which was as administrative
So
assistant.
this is about what, 1965?
This would be 67.
67.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just before the Monterey Pop Festival, which unfortunately I came here about 4 months after it was over, so I missed that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you must have missed the draft. You didn't have no draft?
I was classified to be called up only in case of national emergency.
Really?
They got me on
okay.
heart and eyes, so no,
really?
I was never in the service.
Oh, okay. All right. No. I was never either. Missed that bullet. Well, I didn't mean to say miss that. That's terrible. Say that. But anyway, all right. So you come back. You come to so Monterey had a job. What was that title?
I was started out for the first year and a half as an administrative assistant to the city manager, and
You had experience doing that.
yes.
Okay.
And then after a year and a half, my then boss, the assistant city manager, Roger Pointer, he resigned, went on to become a member of the Board of Supervisors, and I was appointed at that time as assistant city manager, which position I held for about 8.5 years.
Oh, okay. All right. Who was the manager at that time?
John Nail.
John Nail.
Yes.
Okay. Is he still around, or?
Oh, no, he unfortunately passed away way back there in 87.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry, in 77.
In 77.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So you were. So when did you became? When did you become a manager?
Well, John Nail unfortunately became very ill and passed away, and it was shortly after that the city council named me as the city manager, and that would be back in 77.
They didn't go out and try to get somebody from the outside?
No, not at that time.
That's a big popular thing or something nowadays, right? They can't find people within? Well, I didn't know.
That's a complicated topic.
Yeah. You know. All right. So anyway, so you're city manager for how long in Monterey?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes. Then I went down to be city manager of San Luis Obispo for 10 years.
Now how did that happen? Did you goof up somewhere? It seemed like you went downhill, or is it because you lived there and you wanted to go down that way? You just wanted to move around, or what?
It was a choice.
Did people ask you down there? Says you left Monterey? What? You crazy? No.
No. Occasionally you have situations in life that aren't the best for you personally, and I just decided it was time for a change, and went down to San Luis Obispo. In my years in San Luis Obispo,
Took your wife with you?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Were very rewarding, and it was a great experience. It was a beautiful experience being there.
All right. So how long were you there?
14 years as city manager.
14 years? Oh.
Yeah, and then after that I retired.
Do you have a boat down there at all? Don't they have they have boats down there, don't they? Like,
Well, not in San Luis because it's not on the ocean. But,
Oh, okay.
But
What's
nearby we have Morro Bay and
Right.
Avila Beach,
Oh, okay, Morro Bay, right,
Pismo
right,
Beach,
right, okay.
and those places.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of warm down there sometimes, wasn't it?
Well, it's a little bit warmer than here. Yes, it's. I'd
You
say,
still have a place down there?
I still own a place in my home in Avila Beach, which is near San Luis Obispo.
Is it empty? Do you rent it out or what?
We rent it out.
Oh, that's too bad. I
Yeah.
thought maybe, take a trip down there or something. All right. Okay, so now, so then you were there for 14 years. You retired from there?
I did. I did. And then I took, after that, I took several jobs as interim city manager. And,
So where at?
well, I was in Oro Grande and, in Grover Beach.
Where's that at? Is that near there?
Near San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
And also in Pismo Beach, also near San Luis
right,
Obispo. And then my last away interim city manager position was with Rohnert Park up in Sonoma County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people. I have relatives up there. Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of a little stretch to go up there, huh?
It was a stretch. We still lived on most weekends in Avila, so we put a lot of miles on our car that year.
You drove back and forth there?
We did.
You needed a little plane, didn't you?
Didn't have one.
So you were down in, you said Avilas?
Avila Beach.
Is that was near Pismo Beach or somewhere there?
It's,
They have a lot of those little beach names
yeah,
there.
it's about 8 miles from San Luis Obispo.
Okay, all right. So you're down there, and boy, to drive up to there, man, that's got to be that's a 4-hour trip, isn't it?
5 hour.
5 hour.
Yeah.
And of course, that was back when the bridge toll was a little less.
That's right.
What's it now? $8 or something now? I don't know.
Well, I don't honestly know, because now they just take your, unless you have one of those automatic passes, they just take your picture and send you a bill. And I did cross about 3 weeks ago, but so far they haven't sent me the bill, so I honestly don't know what it is.
You know, I can remember going across the Golden Gate Bridge and paying $0.25. I can remember that.
Yes, that was a long time ago, Jim.
That was a long time ago.
When we were both younger, right?
In fact, I think the Bay Bridge at one time had, maybe the Golden Gate had one too. They used to have one of those kind of things that you would throw the quarter in. Remember that?
I remember that. Those days are gone.
Try to throw a washer in. They don't do they? You know, a little washer, but no, instead of a quarter. All right. So anyway, so you're up in Rohnert Park. And how long were you there?
Just a year.
Just a year.
Yeah, and then came back and...
Did you ever go out to Russian River from there?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Jenner?
Yes.
You know where that?
Oh, yes.
Isn't that a lovely place?
Yeah, Sonoma County is a wonderful place. We really enjoyed being up there.
All right. Tell you what, let's take a little break, Ron. Yeah. I'm talking with the city manager of Seaside, where I live, John Dunne. This is the Seaside-Sand City television show. We'll take a little break. I'll be right back.
We began in 1907 in Wichita, Kansas. We're the second oldest General Motors dealership west of the Mississippi River, and we are the oldest General Motors dealership in the state of California. What nearly 110 years in this industry have taught us is the value of customer service above all else. And that's why we continue to serve generations of families on the Monterey Peninsula.
My father opened the Old Fisherman's Grotto over 50 years ago. He established traditions of hospitality and good food that I now share with my customers. Fisherman's Wharf in Monterey is a special place. People from all over the world come here not just for a good meal, but for a good experience. The Grotto is not just a restaurant, it's my life. I'm Chris Shake, and I invite you to make my family tradition a part of your family tradition.
Hi, I'm Jim Vossen. Join me Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock for the Seaside-Sand City television show here on KYMB, Comcast Cable Channel 19, and over the air at 27.1. Brought to you in part by the Seaside-Sand City Chamber of Commerce. That's Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock for the Seaside-Sand City television show.
All right, welcome back to the Seaside-Sand City television show here on KYMB, Comcast Channel 19, over the air at 27.1, and the Fresno area. You're in Fresno, by the way. We're on Fresno at 33.4. I'm Jim Vossen, V as in Victor, OSSEN, city manager of Seaside, John Dunne. We're going to switch a little bit. We'll stop with his personal life. You became city manager of, well, actually, you were in, what was the first title? You were an interim?
I was the interim city manager
interim
when I first
city
came
manager.
here in April of 2012, yes.
April of 2012. All right, and then you became permanent city or city manager till when?
It'd be just about a year ago in very early December.
Okay. And you have gone through you've had two mayors while you were there.
Yes.
Actually, yes. Have you had three? No, you've only had two.
No, just two.
Yeah, no, well, I meant one and then one and then one, no. And we have a new council member on. We have, our current mayor is a previous mayor, Ralph Rubio, and then we have a new council member, Dave Pacheco.
Correct.
Who worked for the city for 30 million years or something like that.
A long time.
Recreation department, big giant guy, they had to get him a special chair, lower him down to the ground. Of course, he sits next to Eon, who's another tall guy.
That's
Who's
right.
taller?
They're both pretty tall. Maybe Dave is an inch or two taller.
Really?
I don't know.
All right. Do you ever watch NCIS?
I do not.
You don't? Okay. Because Eon looks like this head guy on NCIS, this one guy, and he has that real serious look. Now, every once in a while when he smiles, he looks so nice, but sometimes he's just so serious. So. All right. Seaside is, I tell people, or in my, is the next biggest city in Monterey County next to Salinas.
That is correct.
A lot of people think that Monterey has a larger population than Seaside, but no, we have about, what, 2,000 or 3,000 more people than
Yeah,
Monterey.
we're approximately 33,000. They're approximately 28, 29,000.
And one of the advantages that Monterey has is they do have a lot of hotels. They have a lot of tourist stuff. They also have a nice shopping center. They have a car dealer, another used car dealer also. And they have the name Monterey, which gives them a little, I would say, more bucks in the revenue department than Seaside does. So Seaside is one of these cities that really needs a shot in the arm. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say.
You've got Sand City, which is a small city, but they've got these two big shopping centers. They have a population of, what, 300 people, and they don't have to provide a lot of the services that a city like Seaside has to do because of its population. So therefore, what happens, the scales of monies tip differently. And so all of a sudden, there's a lot more monies that have to come out of City Hall's, whatever, bank account to pay for things. And so when the car dealers were doing not very well, and the home prices were down, so the property tax, the car sales tax were all down. That really hurts city. Car dealers are coming a little better. Homes are a little better, but still not back up to where they were, right? Is that fair?
Oh, that's correct. Well, of course, the housing crisis occurred in 2007. The economy fell into the Great Recession in 2008. So really, since 2008, almost up to the present time, the city of Seaside financially has had a very, very difficult time. And of course, the capstone on all that was the state government taking away redevelopment. With the dissolution of redevelopment, we've had to regroup. And so I think the answer is, as you say, is we have had some springing back in some of our revenues, most notably in sales tax. And you're right, the major part of our sales tax is automobile sales. It's about 58% of our sales tax. And
well, and now I also thought I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the sales tax is. Am I wrong on this? Is it more money than we get from property taxes?
Yes, it is.
It is.
The sales tax is the number one.
So it's really okay.
Yes, and actually property taxes have been going down over the last several years because with the housing crisis and the lowering of housing prices, we've had reassessments, and so people are paying less in property tax now than they were in most cases, particularly in regard to residential property. And so the city of Seaside is just now really making a slow comeback from the very difficult years that we've been through over the last 5 years.
And the people have to understand that this, when we had redevelopment agencies, which had been around for a long time, but really, I would say that there was the opportunity, there was a thing starting as of a few years ago where there was a momentum coming, and it looks like things were going to go, and all of a sudden it's yanked away.
Well, that's right.
And that is a terrible blow to the city.
Yes, well, I think the whole society was caught up in this. We thought, or we assumed, that things would continue as they had, and we found out that finally several bubbles burst, and we're not as well off as we thought we were. And we've gone through recessions from time to time. The thing about this recession, it was deeper and it was more sustained. It lasted longer, and there's also been a slower recovery. Right. And so obviously the business of the city right now is to increase our revenues so that we can have stronger service programs, deliver better services to our citizens, but also to engage in economic development activities, because it is the business community really that provides most of the revenue for the city. When you look at the property tax and the transaction tax and the sales tax, utility users tax, all of those sources of revenue are primarily paid by the business community. The residential community, of course, they pay their property taxes, but this doesn't really pay for the services that we deliver to our citizens.
And part of that is if you compare, which is unfair to compare Sand City. They don't have to, when you have a very small population, you don't have to provide as many services as the larger population. And so if they have all the money from the business stuff, they don't have to do a lot of things that Seaside has to do. I mean, they still do, but nothing to the extent that Seaside has to do.
I'll not speak for Sand City,
No.
but in the city of Seaside, we've prided ourselves, and indeed that's one of our goals, is to have a very good, excellent service program. And so the services that we deliver in police and fire and public works and in all the functions of the city, we try to make them the best possible. At the same time, because of the serious financial situation we've faced and the necessity to reduce our organization over the years,
Right.
we're operating with about 30% less employees now than we were 5 years ago. And so we do our best to maintain strong service programs, but with far fewer employees. So that means that every department is stretching to do a good job.
So we're going to shift gears, although it's kind of the same situation. We just went through this election, which obviously the city of Seaside, I guess the government agency really can't participate in the election. You weren't able to say nay or yay. You were able to give information from stuff that you know was happening. But the bottom line is that one of these shots in the arm is this area up in Fort Ord. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of those blighted areas are already spoken for by a lot of other agencies. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
So-
The land has been pretty well allocated to various
Right.
sources, including the 5 land use jurisdictions, ourselves, Marina, the county, Monterey, and Delray Oaks.
And it's not every day that somebody, whether it be from here or from out of town, comes in and has money to invest to do something. Not every day that comes in there on a project, and we'll just basically say Monterey Downs or any project, which has to go through the wings and all this stuff. But these are things that really, whether it's Monterey Downs or something else, these are projects that really can get things off the ground. They're not the fix all the problems, but it's a good starting gate, because there's other things that if a project like that was to get off the ground, other projects are going to get off the ground, and therefore we can move. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think the significance of this election, as it stands right now, with the knowledge that there's another 700,000 or 8,000 votes to count, and we should get those results this Friday. But the significance of the election results for us is that both measures failed.
Right.
And what that, as a practical matter, means is we're back to where we were. Where
Right.
were we? We had the Fort Ord reuse plan, and that basically specifies the uses for the various portions of Fort Ord.
Right.
And Monterey Downs is a proposed project in the application stage before the city of Seaside. It has not been approved as
Right.
yet, but it is consistent with both our city's general plan and with the Fort Ord
Right.
reuse plan. And so, again, we're back to what the Fort Ord reuse plan would prescribe for the
Which
area.
took a lot of people, a lot of years to put together.
That is correct.
And a lot of studies, and so it wasn't just a whimsical thing because somebody doesn't like horses, so therefore let's go,
Well, that's
or
true.
whatever.
The Fort Ord reuse plan was developed between 1994 and 1997.
Right.
It involved literally hundreds of people, involved all jurisdictions.
And it wasn't some award-winning thing, too?
Yes, that is correct. But it was 3 years in the making. It involved hundreds of people in the process, and they came up with I believe, a very carefully devised plan. They attempted to balance the environmental concerns
Right.
with the educational concerns, with the economic concerns, and we believe that we've made a great deal of progress, and we're thankful for this progress in the educational realm, particularly with CSUMB, and in the environmental realm, particularly with the designation of the National Monument within the former Fort Ord, where we haven't made similar progress as in the economic arena. And so we're hopeful for the city of Seaside that in the next several years we can move forward, get in some good, high-quality development that's a credit to our community, and that will also serve the residents of this area.
One last thing. You're a host of the Your Town television program, which can be seen on Channel 24. Not this channel, but you have to have Comcast cable for that. And you bring guests on at times. That's our music. We're on our way. We need to bring you back sometime. Where this is show number 3. We're getting there somewhere. Ron, you okay? Are we okay? All right. Did you have a good time? Was it easy? Was I gentle on you? Did I do anything wrong?
You were gentle. It was fun, and thank you very much for having me on
we can do this again sometime?
Absolutely.
All right, good. All right, this has been John Dunne, City Manager of Seaside, the city of Seaside where I live. I am the current president of the Seaside-Sand City Chamber of Commerce, which proudly brings you this program, the Seaside-Sand City television show. Now, do me a favor, go out and have yourself a great day. We'll see you next Wednesday at 1 o'clock right here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today for the Seaside-Sand City TV show, brought to you in part by the Seaside-Sand City Chamber of Commerce, located at 505 Broadway in Seaside. Stop by and say hello to me, Jim Vossen, most weekday mornings from 9 to noon, or check us out on the web at seaside-sandcitychamber.org. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday afternoon at 1 for the Seaside-Sand City TV show, here on KYMB Cable Channel 19 or over the air at 27.1.